I'm delighted to be here, and there is no one I'd rather spend the day with than our veterans right here in Racine. All of you are upstanding members of our community. I've known so many of you for so long. You're role models to our children, and I'm so glad, thank you, teachers, for bringing the kids from the classroom here today. Our veterans represent the best of what this country has to offer. It's been an honor to represent you in Congress. So I simply want to say thank you. Sitting here, listening to these wonderful speeches, it got me thinking. Last summer, Jana and I took our three kids, who are in 8th, 6th, and 5th grade, on our summer road trip. We went to Mount Rushmore this last August. We like to bring our kids to historical sites every year. We want them to learn our history. We want them to know the big names: Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, Lincoln. We want them to know the stories behind them. I have always believed that you can't truly love this country if you don't know our history, if you don't understand the sacrifices that people made, if you don't know what it took to make us free. The reason I think Veterans Day is so important is that it reminds us of just how great the sacrifices were and just how many people fought for our country. We've been very fortunate to have many great leaders. Yes, of course. But who sat in the cold at Valley Forge? Who beat back Pickett's charge? Who charged up San Juan Hill? Who scaled the cliffs of Normandy? Who rescued Kuwait? Who took down Osama bin Laden? It was men and women like the people in this room, the men and women of our armed forces. They fought the fights, and they won the wars, and they kept this country safe for all of us. They're ordinary people. They're fathers, they're mothers, aunts, uncles, cousins, colleagues. They're not looking for any special attention. They just wanted to give back. They knew deep down that they had something to contribute. They heard history calling, and they answered the call. They served their country, and then they came home. Some didn't. Some paid the ultimate sacrifice. I look no further than into the eyes of Dade Wyatt to see the evidence of this sacrifice, paid by brave men and women right here. That's the definition of true public service. There's something also that we should never forget. These sacrifices aren't just on the battlefield. They're at the home. They're the lonely Thanksgiving and Christmas dinners. They're the missed moments in your children's lives. One of my colleagues, a man who I just adore, Congressman Sam Johnson of Texas, he was held in captivity for 7 years in the Hanoi Hilton. He likes to say, when one member joins, it is the whole family that serves. I couldn't have put it better than myself. That's why today is so important. This is the day we thank our veterans and their families. This is the day that we recognize their sacrifices. This is the day we salute their patriotism. And this is the day for us to resolve that we will appreciate our veterans every day. And I know a great way to do that. And it was mentioned here earlier. Many of us have been able to participate in this, and it's a group called the Honor Flight Network. They try to make sure that all the surviving veterans of World War II and other conflicts and wars get a chance to see their memorial. I meet them when they come off the bus in Washington. And I have to say, it's such a moving experience to see these heroes get the recognition that they deserve. But we also have to bring our children to these memorials. We have to tell them the stories of our friends and our family who served. We have to talk about why these sacrifices were important, not just on special occasions. We have to do it all the time. We have to talk about American history at the dinner table. We have to spend more of our vacations going to our historical sites. We have to take our weekends and going to our local memorials. We have to teach our children and ourselves what it really means to be an American. That's the best way we can honor our veterans. So I want to encourage you, come to Washington. Take your kids to a memorial. Have them find a relative's name on the Vietnam Wall. Go see the original Declaration of Independence. Go visit the Smithsonian. Walk under the big arches of the World War II Memorial. That's the best way they can learn. You don't need a big name to make a big difference, to make a real contribution. That's the genius of America. And that is what we are celebrating here today. Our veterans fought to preserve our heritage. But it's up to us, each and every one of us, to pass on that heritage to the next generation. So once again, I want to thank you for hosting me here today, for including me yet again in a part of this wonderful ceremony. And I want to encourage all the young people here to ask their parents more about their family and their friends who served. And most of all, I simply want to salute our veterans of our community, of Racine's finest, for their service. Thank you very much, and God bless.